by us. He says, y'all those college guys? And we was like, yeah, we the college guys. And he looked at us and he said, get some fucking rest. It's gonna be a long. I was like, what the?
What it do, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. While you in here, hit that like, comment, subscribe, notification bell so you can be notified every time Hertakes uploads a new video. Alright, let's get into it. What's up, family? We are back with another request from you all wanting me to review Larry Bird welcoming rookies to the NBA Savage. This sounds like it's gonna be good. I'm sure he was trash talking them rookies. I'm guessing a lot of them had their welcome to the NBA moment at the hands of legend Larry Bird. So this should be a banger, a good one. I'm gonna pick one of you that requested this and put it on the screen. Shout out, salute to you all. We're gonna jump into this reaction. And we try to knock out most of these Larry Bird requests. We got some more content we gotta get out there. I want us to take the time right now to say thank you to the Larry Bird fan base. You guys are phenomenal. You show up. You're in the comments. I love it. Larry Bird, wow. It's just so sad how underrated he is. He's so underrated, and it's sad. His fans speak volumes to who he is, because when I did the Jordan videos, I didn't get nowhere near as much love as I've gotten from the Larry Bird fans. The Jordan fans that say they're Jordan fans, oh no. These you can't hold a candle to these Larry Bird fans. They come with the stats, they come with everything. They make sure you're telling his story right, and that is dope. I love it. So let's jump into this reaction and see what's up with it.
Around the NBA, everyone has their first moment in the league they still remember. Everyone starts out as a rookie, and when you're a first-year player, whether it's a trash talk exchange, getting owned by a more experienced player, or scoring your first point in the league, those memories stay with you forever. NBA rookies are also not above being starstruck and sharing the court with players they grew up watching. Considering that, things might get even worse when that vet player who's welcoming you is the trash-talking GOAT himself, Larry Bird. Welcome to the Squad Dawkins channel. Here we break down the best welcome to the NBA Larry Bird stories.
Shout out to Squad Dawkins.
Players he trash-talked and took to school. If the NBA ever introduces a trash-talking award, it should be named after Larry Bird. The guy was just peerless when it comes to mind games, as rookie Eddie Johnson found the hard way. Eddie Johnson guested on the Rex Chapman show published on BasketballNews.com YouTube page. He shared the legendary trash-talking and beating he received from the legendary Celtic legend.
He was always talking so much trash to me, and he taught me how to trash talk. I mean, Larry Bird basically taught me how to trash talk. And so, this one game in Boston, he just worked me over, man. Like, I went out for the jump ball, and it was my second game of my career, and Conference 7 started. And I'm scared to death already. You know, not just a Bird, but I played against McHale in college, so he was cool. But Robert Parrish, I mean, Dennis Johnson, I'm looking at all these dudes, man, and I'm intimidated. I had played against Danny Ainge in college. So, but Bird walks out at the jump, and the veterans on my team said, Eddie, just don't pay attention to him. Fine. So I mind my own business on the jump, and he walks out, and he just stands next to me, and he leans over and he looks at me. And I didn't even pay him any attention. He said, do you honestly think you're going to guard me? Curse that. Like, what? I just didn't say nothing. Then he stands up and he looks over at our bench and he looks at Kyle. You all think this rookie going to guard me?
Imagine being a rookie and you've heard all the hoopla about Bird. Your teammates telling you, hey, don't, feed into it, ignore him, whatever. You're already scared of the other ones, right? But you know who Bird is. He come out and say that to you. Oh, I'm sure that was tough. I'm sure everything got tight.
I'll bust you up. Just right up he gonna guard me. I'ma bust you up. Just right in my ear. And I'm just looking forward. I'm like, And so by that time, all the guys on the floor is just cracking up, even my teammates.
They knew.
So I'm like, would this official please throw this ball up? So the official couldn't throw the ball up because there was something going on the side. So then finally he walks around, stands in front of me, he said, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to wear your ass out. And then I looked at him, I said, I'm here, don't worry about it. I said, you ain't intimidating nobody. I said, I'm from Chicago, where you from? He started laughing. Game starts, and he's just wearing me out. Okay? And I'm trying to go back at him. I'm shooting bricks. And in the fourth quarter he was in, it was late. Game was kind of close. And he came down, he said, you talking all that junk. I bet you can't do this. And he raises up from Steph Curry range.
Ooh, back then.
He shoots an air ball. And I look at him, he like, that don't matter. It's the fact that I can do it and stay in the game. I bet you can't. I'm like, okay. So,
Baiting him.
stuck with me.
Johnson's story is not the first nor the last we will hear connected to Larry Bird welcoming rookies to the NBA. During his rookie season in 1982-83, Dominique Wilkins walked over to four-year pro Larry Bird right before tip-off. Bird, of course, was having none of it.
And that was the first time Bird ever talked trash. It was my rookie season, the first game I ever played against him.
What he said?
I can't even tell you what he said. But my first year, I'm excited. I'm playing against Larry Bird. I go shake his hand, wouldn't shake my hand. Back then, guys just
You wouldn't shake your hand?
wouldn't shake my hand. He would look at me and just nod, right? And I was like, well, maybe he's just getting into the game.
It didn't end just without acknowledging the rookie Wilkins. Bird continued hitting him with the trash talk.
And so the first time I'm gone, he said, you don't even belong in this league. He shoots a three. Wow. I said, okay. Next time he comes down, he said, I don't know why they got you guarding me. He hits another three. Now I'm really mad now. Right. He's coming down the court and I'm guarding him. He looks at me and said, I don't know why they have you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots the three. Now, I wasn't upset he made the three. I said, this son of a gun just called me Holmes.
Here's the thing, though. It's almost like Larry studied their weaknesses, right? Because Neek's never really been a shooter outside the paint, you know, the little middies and stuff. He's never really been a shooter. At least he definitely wasn't one early on. And I'm sure Bird knew that. He was using it against him. See, that was just more mind games getting into his head. You don't belong here. Bam! Look what we do. So I'm sure as a rookie, that made him feel like old-ish, right? Legendary. Legend Larry.
Now, I wasn't upset he made the three. I said, this son of a gun just called me Holmes. And so I never forget that one thing, though, man. I'm like, I was so hot. You know?
Another former All-Star that got a nice welcome by Bird was the Seattle Supersonic
Ooh, that's
Ken found
Sean.
out the hard way just how ruthless of a trash talker Bird was when he faced him as a rookie in 1989.
I'm gonna keep this real with y'all, man. My ass got busted real early, man. Came into the league, man. I was playing. You know how some of the vets, man, they play you to the team, man. I got played down in Boston one night. We was playing Boston Celtics. So the great Larry Bird. I didn't really know much. You know, I'm from Indiana. Larry's from Indiana. I knew about the history of Larry, but I didn't realize how he really got down. And Larry gave me 50 and 3/4. And he talked to me the whole entire game.
What did he say?
I do. Well, first of all, he asked me if the jump ball. He said, "You can't broke all my records in high school, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Yeah, you the one that used to talk to my brother too, right?" Eddie. And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "I got you right." So, called. At the defensive end, he would tell me, he'd be like, when I get down to the other end, I'm going to pump face you, get a hand one on you, look at you, go off glass. That's how cold Larry was. And I was...
Well, so was Sean Kemp a small forward? I don't know. I thought he was a power forward, but, you know, the forwards play against each other all the time anyway. But that's funny because I was sitting here thinking maybe Bird was looking at it like, well, we both from Indiana. I got to show him who's the real man of Indiana. But if you was out there breaking his records, ooh, he loved that motivation anyway. He had to give you that get back. Legendary Legend Larry.
Look at you for my class. That's how cold Larry Bird was. And I was to the point of like, look, I'm gonna foul him so hard that he's basically gonna take his will. He started shooting the ball with his left hand, man. I was trying to foul his right arm. He was shooting with his left hand, making it off on me, looking at me, still slapping me on my butt and everything, man. Tell me everything.
When another legend was starting his NBA career, he saw firsthand how great Larry was and how serious he was about fulfilling his promises. John Stockton saw Larry Legend doing his thing at a young age, which is something he'll never forget. Back in 2018, during an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show, the Utah Jazz legend talked about his favorite Larry Bird story of all time. And he didn't hesitate, choosing one that he lived during his first campaign in the association.
Yeah, I remember as a rookie, he came in, he walked by our bench at the Salt Palace and said, I feel like 43 tonight. And he came out, he scored 43 in the third quarter and checked himself out with a 20-point victory, and I was fairly impressed with that one.
So he just picks a random number, I feel like 43. And he says it to the bench?
Yeah. It was fairly impressive, especially when he did this, when he backed it up.
In 2018, the former Orlando Magic sharpshooter Dennis Scott told another Bird welcome to...
Dennis Scott used to play for them, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, if you didn't know.
In 2018, the former Orlando Magic sharpshooter Dennis Scott told another Bird welcome to the NBA story. Scott, who was selected by the Magic with the 4th pick of the 1990 NBA draft, detailed how Bird shut him up with his legendary trash talk and basketball skills.
Bird was the only one that really kind of, in his soft-spoken way, when we talk about guys talking trash.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooke, good to see you. Hey, big Kyle's career. I'm going to catch the ball, I'm going to pump face, I'm going to reach for it, give you foul, 2 tweets, you're going to have a seat. Move the whole day, and he catches the ball, and he pump face, I go for it, I reach. I come down court. Got the guy kicks the ball, I shoot a 3 in your face, Larry Legend. Yeah, I'm doing good. He catches the ball again, catches it, I dump, reaches for it again, tweet, don't have a seat.
That is hilarious. He a bucket of boys foul out. Or at least get cold, have to go to the bench early. That is hilarious. Calculated moves.
That's how Larry Bird took the second quarter, huh? That's how Larry Bird took the into the NBA.
Clyde Drexler is possibly the most underappreciated Hall of Famer in NBA history. The high-flying Drexler was the Blazers' 14th selection in the 1983 NBA draft. He, too, quickly learned on the greatness of Bird and his trash talking.
I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident."
Bird could not believe the gall from a rookie Drexler. He issued a stern retort before resuming his destruction of the young Blazers swingman.
He was confident. You're a rookie. You don't know anything. He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on him. Coach took me out of the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
Essentially, Drexler rivaled Bird as one of the league's elite wings and took Larry Legend's spot as one of the very best when the Celtics star retired in 1992. Still, despite his eventual place among the game's top stars, Clyde learned almost immediately never to speak back to Bird.
Funny.
In 1992, the best players from various colleges were called in to face the Dream Team for their first scrimmage. Future All-Stars Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway, Allen Houston, Grant Hill, and Jamal Mashburn were part of the team dubbed the College All-Stars. Webber, who won the Rookie of the Year award in 1994, was given a stern warning by Larry Legend before the game. By Webber, Bird told him to make sure he's getting his sleep, because tomorrow Bird is going to bust his ass, and that he is going to remember it the rest of the week. Another angle to Bird in the 1992 College All-Stars was brought by Jamal Mashburn. According to Mashburn, he, along with Webber, Houston, and Rodney Rogers, was given first-hand experience of Larry Bird's trash talking the very first time they met Larry Legend.
And Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand there close to Larry Bird. He walked by us, he says, "Y'all those college guys?" And we was like, yeah, we the college guys. And he looked at us and he said, "Get some fucking rest, it's gonna be a long week." And we was like, what the hell? And so we just excited.
They was like, what the heck? The white boy. I know they were thinking it. They were thinking it. I'm gonna say what they were thinking. The white boy think he is. We finna show him.
Like, oh, he just talking shit or whatever. Like, what the hell? And so that we just excited. We like, oh, he just talking shit or whatever. But that's kind of cool, though. That's like, you know who we are. But he ain't call us by Chris Webber and Jamal Matthews. Like, y'all them college kids. And then something happened. We're sitting there, and we get back to the hotel. Rodney Rogers says something to, it's a group of them. It's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, everybody's shooting the shit. And Rodney Rogers said, hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84. Magic heard that shit. And we didn't think nothing of it. The next day we came in, and I never seen this, and this one I was like, this is a different breed. Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball probably about 8 times in a row down court. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do.
And it was at that moment they knew. They mucked up. And notice how, what I like about this story, his buddy Magic had his back. His buddy Magic had his back. Thick as thieves. I like that. I like that story. That's a good story.
Every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. One dribble, pull up, going left, off glass. One dribble, going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row. Left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on the bench. He had to lay down because of his back. And said, young fella, look like 84, huh? I'm sitting there and I'm like, bruh. I said, so that's they kicked our ass for the rest of the week.
Webber finally added another awesome Bird story from that scrimmage. C-Web shared the small trash talk that Larry Legend threw at Rodney Rogers and the young prospects as he was lighting them up with his sharp shooting skills.
We wanted to see Bird and to be able to practice with him, see how he worked out, see how he shot, see the jump that he taught constantly. So why do you think my generation grew up talking so much? They taught us how to do it. We had to watch all those movement tapes and everything else. The best was my man Rodney Rogers. Strong, fast, quick, athletic, and Bird just set him up in a corner. And someone drives to the corner, stop and pass out the Bird, and here you see Rodney Rogers take a full sprint. And I'm talking about, you know how Zion blocked that shot a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
That's where where Rodney Rogers came from. Except, unlike the young kid that shot the shot, in the middle of him being in midair, Bird says, "Welcome to the parachute club." Go by him, shoots the ball, and Curry does what Bird did, because he shot it and just kept walking down, like shaking his head like he's gonna never get it.
For Bird, it didn't matter if you were a future legend like Dominique Wilkins or John Stockton, or someone who also repped his home state of Indiana, or just a white guy. You got treated by Larry Legend, even if it's your first experience in the NBA.
That was another nice banger, good video. Thanks for all the suggestions. Like I said, you Larry Bird fans, I salute you. You guys are awesome. Seriously, I appreciate all the love. I wish they had put that Jamal Mashburn story in the Court of Rivals, because it would have shown more of how connected Magic and Bird were, because Magic overheard them talking that junk, and he made sure he kept feeding that ball to Bird. He wanted his boy to show them young boys something. I like that. That was great. But anyway, that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as always, stay safe. On to the next one.